Tonight on Need to Know, a renowned project conceived in Rochester is turning school kids from around the world into leaders dedicated to changing and saving lives. The impact being made in the midst of challenging conditions. That story is next. Also on the show, if you have a passion or goal in life that you have yet to pursue, or perhaps it hasn't transpired the way you want, a new movement created by women for women wants to help. Don't go anywhere. An all-new Need to Know starts right now. A New York Times best-selling book by children's writer Linda Sue Park helped put a once small but mighty nonprofit on the global map. Today, Water for South Sudan is a name known around the world. Its work to bring clean drinking water to villages throughout the African nation is changing lives for young people in South Sudan. It's also helping to raise a new generation of leaders as students in classrooms around the world join the cause. Salva Dut, whose story was shared in Linda Sue Park's book, A Long Walk to Water, is the founder of the nonprofit birthed in Rochester. During a visit to the States this month, he and one of his board members, Angelique Stevens, joined me to discuss exciting changes being made. Take a look. So, Salva, what are you most looking forward to sharing with the Rochester community during your visit this summer? I know usually every summer you'll come back and you've got updates and there's much to share. What's number one priority for you?
Number one priority is just first of all, say thank you to Rochester, my home, being able to help me with all this work that I've been doing in South Sudan. And the good news, we are growing up really, really well. This year, we purchased 2 drilling rigs. And they're brand new, and we put them in the field, and they drilled 42 wells so far, and they're still drilling up to now. And that's a great news. And Water for South Sudan has been really growing, really well. We have hygiene and sanitation going on. We built one of the latrine in one of the schools. It's serving over 900 students. And it's just so amazing to see this little kid getting excited with something that is new in their life, something that will grow with them. It's just so good to see them. They are taking care of it. They're wonderful. They're excited about it. And we have, if I remember, Angelique, how many villages now we train hygiene with? Over 200 villages that they've been trained with hygiene to take care of themselves, making sure they are safe and clean and everything. They wash the dishes and all this. Is a wonderful thing, and plus this excitement of all these children that have been working hard and people that have been supporting us with Iron Giraffe Challenge to be able to purchase these drilling rigs is so exciting. And Water for South Sudan is really, really growing, and we are doing well. Thank you.
I think what's most powerful about that Iron Giraffe Challenge is that
just so our viewers have a little bit of an understanding, explain exactly what that was so they can catch up to speed.
So it's a fundraiser. Yeah. We had a fundraiser to get our new drill, and we called it the Iron Giraffe Challenge because that's what it is in the book. And it was the young kids. It was kids in schools that raised the money to help us buy this Iron Giraffe. Yeah. So that to me is amazing that we get a good portion, a high percentage of our money from young people who are inspired by Salva's story to help us continue to drill wells.
So the book, Long Walk to Water, mentions these rigs as the Iron Giraffes. And it's a really good point that you made in terms of young people. Before we started this interview, I was telling you, I was in a school in Brockport filming for a project. I see your face on a poster and that students are raising funds for Water for South Sudan. And I run in and I talked to the teacher and she said, we're reading the book. Our students have been doing this for years. The first time they read this book, they wanted to get involved. What do you think it is, this is for both of you, why do you think kids connect so much with the work that Water for South Sudan is doing?
Sure. First of all, I will give a thanks to Linda Sue Park, who did a wonderful job with that book. But what connects children to Water for South Sudan? It is this amazing thing. The children are connected to other part of the world, making difference in life of others. Just to see kids like that, whatever they are doing is meaningful, helping the other human lives, and for them to know exactly that their life is not the same like the life that they have. And make them feel really like, yes, if their life is not the same like ours, we should help other people that to have a better life like what they have. Simple water, because water is the basic of everything. Everything starts right in the water. And even for children alone to think that you get up in the morning, your house, here's voila, that's water.
Yeah.
In there, you brush, you do anything with water. And thinking that some children don't have that opportunity. They have to walk miles and miles just to get the water to drink, water to feed, not even thinking about showering or bathing. And that's what really connects the children here to other children in South Sudan.
I think to some degree, Salva's story is a universal story. I mean, it's so different than anything that we've experienced. But when anybody reads his story, they think, man, here's this young child who is afraid, you know, who's had lots of obstacles, who's experienced some horrific things, and somehow he got out of it. You know, he took those one step at a time, and he made his way through, and now he's coming back and making a difference, and that's beautiful. But I really believe that when people see his story, when people read his story, that they find a little bit of their own hope in them, and that's what makes him such a superstar. That's why you get to see those posters of Salva, you know, in schools, and kids are so excited to see him when they meet him.
And also to show the leadership, because they feel they are the leaders.
That's right.
Making difference in the world too. It's a great thing just to see young children stepping up and be able to do big thing to the world. It's a good thing.
So I want to point out, just in terms of what's been happening this past year, 42 new wells, which, from my understanding, surpassed your goal for the year, and then you rehabbed 60 wells. And do me a favor, I want people watching this, like, paint a picture, translate what those wells actually mean, what they create. You mentioned the fact of hygiene, you know, courses, people learning this. That's a very simple thing that we sometimes we obviously take for granted. But what other things, when you hear about the number of wells that have been done this past year, what does that mean? What opportunities are available for people in a village that they never had before, but they do now because of that?
So you think about the ripple effect of water, and it's so real. So if you put a well into a village, and I got to see this a number of times. You know, I remember one well we drilled a couple of years ago. The whole village came out and spent the next week right there. They camped, they sang, they played, they stayed up late. They all did their laundry. You know, so it's that sort of community, number one. Obviously, the basic simplicity of water, but having it close by changes everything. The walking for hours every day doesn't have to happen anymore. I saw a woman at the well after a couple days who was just sitting there, and she had rested her reeds in the well. And so I went and talked to her, and she said that she used to walk all day for water, and it would take her maybe 2 months to make one of these baskets that she was making. And now that the water was right here, she could make a basket in 2 days and take it to the market and buy the things that she needs to keep her compound going. And those kinds of changes are profound for daily life.
Salva, what changes or what have you wanted to accomplish, or maybe but you haven't yet, that is really a priority for you moving forward?
It's the changes that I need to do is to continue with this because the need is still huge there. And we still need to do more work to be able to provide, to go to other villages that don't still have clean drinking water now, don't have hygiene and sanitation. That's what I really need to keep doing it and push it to make sure it's happening. And even like this year now, we will be using 2 drilling rigs, 2 team will, next season, we will have 2 drilling rigs going on. That means we will double the well that we drill, 40 wells a year, we will double that. That's a really, really good thing. Because all this, when you look at it, it's all about women first and their children. Because women are the ones that have to work harder to collect the water all the time. Girls have to do that. All this, and now you have hygiene and sanitation, and this water is right there in the village. It's really making life of women much better. And how can we leverage women, empower women more to be able to help in this world of sustainability of hygiene and sanitation and water? How we leverage that?
And I would say, jump in, that helps girls go to school then too, makes it so much easier for that to happen.
Right.
Women are at the center of all culture in South Sudan. And you know, they are the ones who take over when a well gets drilled. They're the ones who take over the maintenance of it, the development of it, the sustainability of it. They create their own committees to watch the well. We use women when we do the hygiene training. We make sure that there are equal number of women, as there are men, so that they can train more trainers, and so that spreads out into the community. You know, the women are the ones that you see doing a lot of the heavy lifting in South Sudan, the literal heavy lifting. They're carrying rice, and they're carrying charcoal, and they're carrying the water. So, Salvo and I were just talking as we were sitting out there earlier about ways to bring women more into the leadership of what happens when you bring in water, sanitation, and hygiene into a village.
When we spoke last summer, you shared with me, I asked you about the political climate in South Sudan, and you were saying things weren't good. I wanted to get your take on how things are going right now.
Things are a little calm now. They had peace treaty that they just signed, and they are waiting for a transition to form their government. Unfortunately, other bad thing happened in northern part in Khartoum. And sometimes it's a trouble when Khartoum is having problem, might even do that. But so far, things are calm now. Of course, there's still a little there and there, but not like before with that too much war going on. And we are just hopeful, hopefully they will do that transition government peacefully, and then the people will prosper. That's what the South Sudan need for now. But we are very hopeful someday things will change to the better, no matter what. Nothing lasts forever.
Do you ever have fears just in terms of whether donors, people who fund projects, see what's going on in the news, and you worry, oh no, are they going to stop their support if they think things will get worse and wells will be demolished or that kind of a thing? Are there any fears?
No fear to me here personally, because everyone needs water. Whether you are against or you are not against, all of them you need water to drink. And that's unique about us. All this time we've been in it during the wartime, all this problem happened while we were there. We never run away, we never scared, and nothing bad happened to us. And our wells are being used by everyone. Are being used by rebels, are being used by government people, are being used by any other tribes. All this, they need water. And wherever we are, they don't feel that, okay, you guys are an enemy or something like that. They need those wells, and I don't see any fear. And we've been so fortunate that our people, our donors who supported us, they're always there with us. No matter what happened, they're still there with us. And good news, no one of our wells is being destroyed because they don't like it. They're all South Sudanese who are fighting each other, and they're all South Sudanese. We are providing clean drinking water, and they are all South Sudanese want to drink water. that make it unique.
You see that in other parts of Africa and other countries that wells don't last after 5 years. And one of the main reasons is because of political reasons. Somebody takes over the well, they blow up the well, they use it against other people. And so that was one of the evaluation questions we asked when we went back in 2015. And we found everywhere we went, all over the country, that in fact, people were offended that we would talk about water inequality and you know who has access and who can. And everywhere we went, if people are thirsty, we make sure they have water. Was the answer. We don't have any of those political problems with our wells. We never have.
Yeah. And the good system that we put down too is a great system that make our well lasting that long. Let's say the first well that we drilled in 2005 is still operating up to now. That's wonderful because of the system that we put to make sure people understand how to maintain it, when to get the supply, and with this beautiful leadership of women there, and make it last. And because they get the ownership, is owned by them, is not owned by the donor, is not owned by Water for South Sudan. They are the one owning it. If they let it go and not to take good care of it, what happened to their life? They will move away and they will do that. And that's a beautiful thing, making sure they're empowered and they're involved and they are the one maintaining the well. It's belong to them and make it really unique.
Salvador, Angelique Stevens, thank you so much for your time. It's an honor to have you here, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Thank you.
To learn more about the mission, work, and impact of Water for South Sudan, you can check them out on social media or go to their website, waterforsouthsudan.org. Encouraging women to step into their power. That's the focus of a new movement in Rochester. It's called Evolve. The name is an acronym for education, voice, opportunity, leverage, value, and empowerment. The movement will begin the first in a series of outreach and community events this month intended to ignite passions, generate creativity, and share talents. 4 of the 5 members are here in the studio to discuss why they believe their gatherings are relevant and needed. Joining me at the desk are Julie Hares, Karen Gagliano, Christine Flood, and Michaela Gantz. And welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So I understand Evolve really is this movement that you believe doesn't necessarily exist right now in Rochester. And I know when I was checking out, doing some research on you, you said there's this white space that exists. So I'm going to give this to you first, Julie. Explain what is that white space and how do you intend for Evolve to meet that need?
The white space that we saw, Helen, was really a gap in the community where we felt we collectively could come together and really help and inspire women and help them in the way that we've helped each other along the way. And it's been just a great experience. We really started working together organically. It started with a thought that I shared with my collaborator and co-founder, Karen Gagliano. And she encouraged me, and she's like, Julie, go for it. There's a big, big opportunity for us here, and we can really make a difference. So with that, it just kind of evolved, if you will. Right. We added Christine, Michaela, our other partner, Meg Leonard, who's a health and life coach as well. And it's been a great experience. It's been just life-changing.
So what, I guess for all of you, when we think about groups and movements that exist in Rochester, there are some for women. In what ways do you want this to not necessarily be something in competition with, but support what's already there, but offering much more? Like, what do you see this offering more of?
I think that there's a lot of women networking groups. We're all avid networkers, and a lot of those have a professional focus. So this expands that just to be, almost take the work out of networking, which we've talked about, and just be a net of women supporting each other, encouraging each other, sharing skills, sharing talents, sharing professionalism when needed, but just connecting.
I really like that concept of taking the work out of networking, because for some people that's a really challenging thing to do, to show up to an event. It's vulnerable, it's hard, and they feel like that net might not be there for them, and they're trying to make those connections. It's not necessarily an easy thing for everybody to do.
Right.
So I want to go around the table briefly so our viewers get an understanding of your individual areas of expertise. Just kind of briefly, maybe in a sentence or two, explain what they are and how you hope those areas of expertise will help women as they come together through this movement. And we'll start with you, Julie, and just kind of go around.
Okay. I'm Julie Harris. I'm financial planner here based in Rochester, New York. I work in partnerships with a few partners that have different areas of expertise, but one area and things that I bring to the table is working specifically with women business owners and business owners in general to really move the needle. Well, basically, I'd say I'm very different in that my clients' goals become my goals. We work very hard to get you there. So that's me.
Great. Karen?
Hi, I am Karen Gagliano, and I am a mortgage loan officer, otherwise known as the mortgage genie that I'm coining myself here at Evolve. But I started out in corporate and always working for other people in a cube, just doing what I was told. And every time I would try to go out of the box and think of ways that we could help or improve service standards. In corporate, you're really working for other people, so I kept popping my head up, and then they kept popping me down, popping my head up, popping me down. So I decided to get out and of my comfort zone and be 100% commission in sales, but also to educate people on credit, on how to buy a home. Especially in Rochester, we have a wonderful housing market, so it's all about helping people. I love helping any type of a person. Women in general, though, we had a mutual client that was going through a bad divorce, and we just thought, you know, she needs help. We want to help her, and that's how we got this started, because we know that there is a void, and we are experts in our field, and so we can rely on each other to kind of comprehensively help someone. So that's, again, why we formed this business, this networking group.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Christine.
I am an independent insurance agency owner, founder of Oakleaf Insurance Services. And I guess the perspective I bring is I'm an entrepreneur, so I've had to create a business from scratch, and balancing that, like so many women with that work-life balance family. I'm a single parent, and so just that a combination of the business and actually helping people with their insurance needs. We all have a passion for helping women, so whether it's small business or women homeowners or just anybody in general. But there's that piece, plus that passion to follow your dreams and like open the business you want, like stick in there through hard times, kind of bringing that encouragement, combined with that work-life balance and moving through and letting things just be okay and doing the best you can each day. Yeah.
Michaela.
Hi, I'm Michaela Gantz. I'm the founder of Finger Lakes Mediation Services. I started the practice 9 years ago, and I focus on basically really all types of mediation. I've worked for the courts, and really am focusing on my own practice. Very entrepreneurial. I started my first business in my 20s and decided 9 years ago that I wanted to go a little bit a different direction and do something that I could give back to everyone. So my focus is keeping people out of courts, keeping people out of litigation, helping them resolve conflicts in a really organic, healthy way. I work with men and women both, but just a big passion of mine is helping women be able to feel like they have the strength to achieve their dreams. And I've done it twice with creating 2 businesses. So just reaching out and encouraging is really my focus.
So how does Evolve work exactly? And for women who will be attending events that you're hosting, what can they expect? And I'll give that to you, Karen.
So one of the reasons why we decided to form this group is to, as Christine was saying, take the work out of it. So we're not going to be networking. We are actually going to be identifying real world women's issues and tackle them, and take one and maybe have another event and talk about it. The E and there's 2 E's. One is education. So we want to.
So you're breaking down the letters of Evolve.
Yes, education is one of them. Empowerment is the other. So we want to kind of bring women together, identify problems or issues or ways that we can help them. One issue that I know I have, and I think a lot of women do have, is time management. We're so busy these days. We've got children, we've got obligations, and it just, by the end of the day, you're extremely exhausted, and I think maybe you've lost yourself. So we want to get somebody in there that's an expert, and so we can all listen to and learn from. We don't all know everything, so that's why we want to pull the audience.
And that's what I like about this. So the idea is you're not saying to women, okay, this is what you need. We know what you need. We're opening up this whole conversation to you. Tell us, so then we can go back and see how we can kind of meet those needs and bring people together to talk, to help, to assist.
That's exactly it, Helene. It's a very collaborative process, very interactive. That's our hope, is to be very inspired and interacting with the people that come into the Evolve sphere and collaboratively work together to come up with topics that would be really relevant and helpful to people.
So who is the ideal Evolve woman? I mean, is there a certain fit, or is this open to everyone? Michaela?
It's really open to everyone. Anybody that might have a need. Women, we talked about this, women that are, out in the community and that are talk to a lot of other women. We want to bring them in. We want to have them tell us what they need. Housewives, women that are just, stay-at-home women, whatever, professionals, business owners. We want to involve all of them because they all have needs. We all get to points in our lives where we feel stuck. We're not sure which direction to go. We've all seen women in these situations, and we were really touched by it. So just any kind of woman that just feels like, my life could be better, or I need a different direction to go, or just be around other women that inspire me.
I was just going to add that I think in general we will pull in people with that concept of women supporting women, and all women need support. So if they're not getting it someplace else, or they do, or they want to help support each other, I think it's just that idea of support, and so that appeals to all of us.
In what ways would you say you're being really intentional about creating an environment where women do feel like they can come and be vulnerable and be nurtured, and maybe they were in an atmosphere before and they didn't feel like they were getting that, and they're a bit apprehensive about approaching this new movement?
Well, I think each one of us traditionally, in the roles that we each play in our lives, are in very male-dominated industries. So we know what that feels like, and we know how we want to be a little different in that area, because we as women communicate a little differently. So we've picked a place that we felt all of us are comfortable at with Living Roots for our launch. It's a place that feels comfortable, feels homey, wonderful owners, wonderful product, wonderful people.
It's inviting.
Yeah, we want it to be that. Go ahead,
it's
Karen.
not, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's inviting. It's not like, because we've had events before where you've gone to a bank or something and you're sitting in a row under this fluorescent lighting. We don't want that. We want to be comfortable, have a glass of wine, and make friends and learn at the same time.
Unfortunately, we are out of time and have to close for now, but you still have time to get your tickets for the launch of Evolve. It is happening on Thursday, June 27th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Living Roots Wine. Get your tickets on their Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Evolve Rochester. And that wraps up another edition of Need to Know, Rochester's news magazine. I'm your host, Helene Bianduti-Hofer. Thank you for joining me tonight and throughout the weekend on WXXI TV, and I will see you next week.